Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started with Open Mic Live. But first, a word from our sponsor.
At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESINet goes beyond industry standards, not only i3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Have you ever met a 911 professional and asked, what's the worst call you've ever taken? Well, here's your answer. I heard your last breath the night you flipped your four-wheeler. I tried to call you the day you committed suicide by driving your car into a tree. Blue face, cold to the touch. I helped you with CPR after you found your infant face down, not breathing. It messed me up. I did everything I could, but it wasn't enough. You were with me from the beginning, Grandma. 27 years later, I took the 911 call when you died. How fitting to be there for me in the beginning, and I was there for you in the end. I miss you, Grandma. I am 911. This is but a glimpse into the world of emergency dispatch. But what is it really like to answer a call during someone's nightmare? What is the impact on the first responder answering the call? From Titletown Publishing, and available on Amazon or where you purchase your favorite books and ebooks. Imagine listening. Your worst day is our everyday. If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Yo, welcome back, everyone. This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and here we are. Oh, man. So last week, when I went live, I was in Kansas, and I was at a hotel. I am in a hotel again, but this time I'm in Detroit. Hello, over on YouTube. How's it going? So, this live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital Elite Next Gen Core Services, and a big shout out, as always, to subscribers of the podcast, whether it be on Circle, Patreon, or Facebook. Thank you, and also thank you to everyone who sends stars on Facebook. And oh, hey, how's it going? It just says Princess Star up on top, so I couldn't see anything on there. Hello, how are you doing? Joyce, how are you doing as well? And I'm happy to be here with everyone. As I was saying, so like stars, anyone who sends stars on Facebook, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. That helps pay the bills as well, so I appreciate it. I'm wearing my Open Mic shirt tonight. The Lightning McQueen story. Oh, that's right. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, Lightning McQueen. So for everybody who's watching and listening, so I have got 12 about 12 episodes worth of Imagine Listening and open mic that I did with a live audience that's coming up. So that story right there that's in there, the Lightning McQueen one, you're gonna love it. So I'm doing this from my laptop, okay? So if anyone who's watching on Instagram, I'm gonna try to keep going back and forth through tabs just to make sure that that I have everything there. So I will be checking back and forth to make sure that I've got that I'm able to talk to everybody. I was gonna do this on TikTok as well, and I was like, there's there's too many feeds going on. So I thought I would just stick with this because I've currently got Instagram, X, YouTube, as well as Facebook. Also, it is hot as hell in this room. I didn't turn the AC on, but anyway, make sure to share this broadcast, whether it be on your feed or your favorite dispatch page, and also throw in some reactions because that helps go out to other people and it jumps in there as well. So, as always, what we do with Open Mic Live, we check in with each other. So, how are you doing? How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty and 10 being awesome? How are you doing? How are you feeling? I'm straight up coming in at like an 8.5, 9 already. It has been it's been such a great week, man. And I'm going to go through all of this with you all here in just a moment, but oh, I guess I never hit my I never sent this message in. It was just a good evening and welcome back to everybody. But either way, welcome back. Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. How are you feeling and where are you watching from? So we'll get that all in there. I'm checking over here on Instagram and all right, switching back over here. There's nothing there. Amy jumping in here. What's going on? Hello from Connecticut. About a 3. Okay. Let's see if we can get that number up a little bit, at least one notch up, or if anything, even if it stays the same, just you being here, that is awesome. So I hope we can get that number to go up just a little bit. And then let's see, a 7. So that is good. Excellent, excellent. It's a good number. And I'm gonna try to remember to check in with everyone at the end of this when we're done with this as well. Sorry, my phone is sitting over here and it was blowing up there, so I wanted to make sure that nobody was sending anything. Okay, so this past week was a lot of fun. Now I want to start out with a quick recap. All right, but also just to mention. Um, oh, Bonnie. Hello, Bonnie. Good evening from Kansas. Solid 5-ish. All right. Solid 5. Awesome. Let's see if we can get that number up a little bit as well. Very good. Um, a big shout out to Prepared as well. They have signed up to be a Social Media Plus sponsor for the month of May. So thank you very much. You're going to see some more stuff coming out from us as well. So make sure to check that out. Episode 543 with Stephanie went out, and that was an excellent episode, man. Episode 544 has already gone out for patrons. I already shared a clip yesterday, I believe it was. It was either yesterday or earlier today. One of the two. I don't know. I've had so much stuff going on that I don't even remember now. And then there's a freaking hair hanging from my hat or something like that. Either way, that episode is an epic episode, man. You are definitely going to want to. I mean, all of the episodes that are coming up. Again, there's 12 episodes of Imagine Listening open mic, like all together, just for those types of episodes that are going to be coming up. But then the episodes where I have the interview and everything going on, um, there's tons of those as well. So strap in, folks, because there's a lot coming up, and I am so excited for all of you to listen to every single one of them. So, episode 544 is with Jeff, who's out of Massachusetts. he and I met at the ranch a couple months ago in March, and that episode was an epic episode. I mean, I recorded it the week after I got back. It was a night episode, and I've been waiting. I've been waiting to put it out there. It is a very good one. It's about an hour and 40 minutes, man, but it is definitely worth it, and you are going to love it. Definitely going to love it. And again, I can't wait for all of you to listen to it and as well as watch. However you consume it, I cannot wait for you to do so. All right, so that's what we got coming up, and I just got to look at my notes over here. I don't have the multiple monitors, so I've got my laptop right here, and right underneath the camera is my iPad. So thank you, technology. I that I have it. Otherwise, I'd be like flipping back and forth all over the place, and it would be a pain in the ass. So, as I mentioned, I'm back from Kansas, and I am going to actually be going to the Western Regional Conference next week, which is why I'm in Detroit right now, because I'm going to be flying out to Boise, Idaho, and it'll be the first time in a while that I've been to the Western Regional Conference. The last time I was there, it was in Sacramento. I was still working for InDigital. I was out there with the vice president of the company, and I was doing presentations on Text for 911. So that's how long ago it was that I've been out there, or to that conference, that is. But I'm going to be out there next week. So if you're going to be there, please make sure to stop into either one of my classes, the closing, or at the booth. Now, I don't know what booth number I'm going to have until I get there, and then I'll post it out for everybody. But again, Western Regional Conference, Boise, Idaho. I will have a booth, and I've got my I Am 911 championship belt with me. And I've got a little bit of merch like patches and such that I'll have there. I'll be recording episodes, and I've got 2 Imagine Listening sessions that I'll be doing. So make sure to look out for that. I did put a promo out there for it already. And then the closing keynote will be me, and I'll be closing it out. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope to see all of you there. I'm excited. I'm excited to be there, to present, and do Imagine Listening, just all of it. So I look forward to seeing all of you out there. Now, I want to show something really quick here. And, actually, what I meant to do was, let me see if I can find this over here really quick. Let's see. Because I'm going to put something on the screen that I want to show you. But I have to find the actual article first. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is hilarious. I mean, it's interesting. I'm gonna read this. Like I haven't read all of it yet. Oh, that's an unfortunate last name. Okay. Anyway, let me post this picture here, or pull it up so that you can all see it, and then we'll go from there. So let me pull this picture up here. Okay, there it is right there. So if you haven't seen it already, I have been posting a lot of different stories on my Instagram on the podcast page, and a few of them on my personal Instagram as well. And they are some outrageous and weird and odd news stories from this podcast called the Bananas Podcast. If you have not heard of it, if you've not listened to it, check it out. It is pretty freaking cool, man. And this alone, like, this is one of the stories that they put out there, and it says Florida man arrested after throwing pasta with sauce amid road rage incident. What? What? Just seeing that alone, what are your thoughts? Throw some comments in there. I want to know what you think or about this. I'm curious what your thoughts are. But as you're typing that in, I'm going to go ahead and read the news story, okay? So it says a Florida man has been arrested after flinging pasta with sauce at another driver. Wait, the Back It Up Binge podcast, it's gravy. Yeah. It says a Florida man has been arrested after flinging pasta with sauce at another driver in a bizarre road rage incident. It says Nolan Goins. What's funny is that when I first read this, I thought it said groins. Well, Abby over here says, describe the pasta to me. Was it spaghetti, penne, or elbow? Yes. So it says Nolan Goins, 46, was arrested on Thursday on a misdemeanor of simple battery. Jail records show after he allegedly got caught up in a road rage incident over glaring headlights. Dude, what? Mr. Goins was traveling along Park Street near Bay Pines Boulevard in St. Petersburg, Florida, at around 9 p.m. when the glare from a driver's headlights sparked a road rage incident, according to an arrest affidavit. While the traffic was still moving, Mr. Goins purportedly threw pasta with sauce from his passenger side, hurling the food out of his open window, hitting another person who was driving at the time, the affidavit said. Okay, where did it even come from? Maybe it says more in the story here, but this is nuts. Like, what? So it says while the driver was hit on his arm, legs, and torso, the pasta did not leave any injuries. Okay. Mr. Goins was later found with the same food stains on the right sleeve of his shirt. The arrest record said he was taken into custody at the Pinellas County Jail, but was released the next day on a $1,000 bond. It says, this food fueled road rage incident is bizarrely not the first. What? This food fueled road rage isn't an incident. Now I can't even read it. Incident is bizarrely not the first to occur recently that also involves pasta. It says just over a week before in Indianapolis, in my state, police showed up at the scene of a road rage incident with a pregnant woman visibly shaking and covered in spaghetti. What the hell? Is this a thing? Is this something new? Indianapolis Metropolitan Police were called to the scene on April 17th after a driver reported that a woman in a GMC SUV was following her and flashing a handgun. Oh, dude. The woman allegedly nearly hit the pregnant woman's car and tailgated her up to an intersection where she threw a container of spaghetti into the victim's open window. The victim got out of the car to try and talk with the woman and exchange insurance details, but the woman allegedly pointed a gun at her. Dude, the woman was later arrested but denied ever pointing a gun. Oh, what the hell? Hey, Juliet, what's up, my friend? Note to self, bring tactical pasta on car rides. And Bonnie says, my new weapon of choice, spaghetti. I apologize. That is pretty hilarious right there. Wow. Okay, let me switch back over here. So I wanted to make sure to read that, okay, because um, there's two people who host this podcast called the Bananas Podcast, and I reached out to them and said I would love to have you guys on and and share some funny stories, like odd stories like that, and kind of get our take dispatch style from it. Have them on open mic, and also play some of the stories that have been told during an open mic session to get their take on it. hmm So they said yes. They said they were down for it. And I am all kinds of excited, man, for real. I'm excited to have them on, and I told them that I was going to give them a shout out as well. So shout out to Bananas Podcast, and I am looking forward to us doing an open mic live next month. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. So there you go. There's some stuff there that just developed like today. I think it was yesterday they sent a message saying we can do it in June if that works for you. So yeah. So I'm excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So let me see. Just looking through my notes here. Okay. All right. So, as I mentioned, just got back from Kansas. Okay. Just a few days ago, I got back from Kansas. I was out there for the week, and it was a lot of fun. Now, I do want to give a recap because I mentioned this past Monday, but there are other folks that are here that may not have heard what happened. So, excuse me. This is so stupid. So I have a course booklet, okay? And my good friend Roxy, who is the director out at Lyon County, who hosted the class and everything, and there was surrounding agencies that came to visit and stuff as well, and attended class. She had mentioned, just go ahead and send your course booklet when you can, and I'll get it printed for you. Now they have a local print shop, and I'm all about local. I would rather do it at a local print shop. But Ricardo is a dumbass, and Ricardo forgot. So, Sarah Stroud, what's going on, girl? What up? What's going on, my friend? So what ends up happening is, oh, hold on a minute. Let me come over here to Instagram really quick. Let's see. Man with the cost of living what? Oh, inflation, not inflammation. It says, man with the cost of living inflation, who can afford to throw food nowadays? Oh, that is hilarious. And Latinas of 911 jumps in there and says, exactly, or at least feed a homeless person with it. That's very true. Instead of throwing the spaghetti at somebody, dude, like donate the food, man. Come on. You that pissed off? Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna try to make sure to keep going back and forth so that I can read what's on Instagram as well. So all right, let me come back over here. Okay. That's cool. I'm glad I went back over there to see that. So I've been driving all day. Okay, I was driving all day from Fort Wayne to Emporia, Kansas. Partially, or halfway there. No, maybe it was. No, it was further than that. I think it was like an hour or so away. Actually, when I finally thought about this, I sent Roxy a message, and I'm like, dude, I forgot to send that to you. Now, I think at the time she was flying out to Colorado because she was going to the Colorado conference to speak. And she's like, yeah, I don't think the print shop is going to be able to do that that fast. So then I was looking for an Office Depot, and she's like, no, there's no Office Depot here. And I said, okay, let me see if I can find one. So I got a hold of my son. I was like, dude, I need you to help me out here because I'm driving, right? So I'm telling him, um, find the closest Office Depot to Emporia, Kansas. And he finds one in Topeka. So I stop at a gas station and I try to upload the course, or the course booklet, that is, the course guide, so that I can get it printed. And all I have to do is go and pick it up and done. Dunzo. I'll be good to go. I don't have to worry about it. Nothing. Well, I upload it and I think everything is going to be good. And instead, what I end up getting is I end up getting something that says your print job will be done by May 2nd. And I thought, yeah, no, that's not going to work because my class is May 1st. Okay. And this is 2 days before the class. So I'm trying to figure out what to work, so or to get done that will work. So I end up calling the Office Depot in Topeka, and a guy answers, and I tell him what's going on. They're like, "Yeah, the print area is already closed." And I said, "Okay, well, it says that you have like self-serve printers." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you can come. We don't close until 8." So I haul ass safely. I have to make sure to add that in there. I was hauling safe ass to uh to get to Topeka before they closed so that I could print everything I needed to print. So I end up getting there and I get all my stuff and I'm hauling ass. I get inside and I speak to the gentleman that I talked to on the phone and I said, hey, so or where the printers at? And he's like, oh, they're over there. So there's three, but one of them is out of order. And I get the guide, put it on a flash drive, insert it into the printer, and then swipe my card. Easy peasy, right? No, not at all. Because here's what happened. When you swipe your card, it only gives you a $76 limit per transaction. Okay. My guide, I needed at least 52 guides, and they are 31 pages each. Yeah. So by process of elimination, so I could only do 12 at a time. That's what it was because you couldn't go over the $76, and you couldn't do it for any higher than that. That's what their cap was. Like it was already built in. So I had to do 5 different print jobs. The first 4 were 12, and then like the last was 6, I think it was something like that. Either way, I start the first one. It's halfway through that first 12, and I realize I'm doing the wrong one. I was so pissed. I canceled the print job, and I'm looking at everything that I need to do, and it's yeah, I have to completely redo it. Michael face palm. Yes. Yes, straight up face palm. I I was not happy. So I have to cancel it out, go back, make sure it's the right one, come back, and then do it again. So I think I got 2 no, 1.5 print jobs because I ran out of paper. So then they had to put more paper in. The printer froze, but it still finished the second print job. Now that printer's messed up. Now there's only one printer. And for whatever reason, there's like people that just keep coming in and want to use or get stuff through the print area, not the printers that where I was at, but everything else that they do there. And there was two girls that were there. They're like, we don't work this area. I mean, we help with the printers, um, like the self printers, but we don't do anything over here. And people were so pissed. I felt so bad for those two girls. There was one guy who had been waiting, and then she tells him a version of what I just said, how they don't um, do anything with the printers, and he just got pissed, swore a little bit, and just walked out. And the girl's like, "I'm so sorry." I felt so bad for them, man. So I'm right there, and I'm working on all of those, the rest of the prints. When I left, I had this big ass stack. It was the biggest pain in the ass, but it taught me a lesson. Don't be a dumbass. Next time, send the stuff when you say that you're going to send it. So that was all my fault. That was my fault. Um, so I end up getting through all of that. I get some food. I go back. I do open mic just from my laptop. I didn't have my fancy camera or anything. I just did it from my laptop. And the room next to me, they already had their do not disturb. So I'm trying to be quiet. And if you guys are watching this at work and you just heard me say the Q word, I apologize. So I'm going, I had my headphones in and stuff, and it was going through the laptop. So I started it out like, "Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network." I was trying to be as silent as possible. It didn't work. I ended up talking at a normal volume eventually, and no one said anything, so I was all right. Now, the next day, I had 2 different episodes that I had to record, which were phenomenal episodes. I can't wait for all of you to hear those, 2 episodes that I recorded last week. Halfway through the second episode, oh, wait, Bonnie says, "And I took that booklet back to my agency and shared it with everyone." Yes! Thank you. A lot of work went into printing those. So I'm glad that you continue to get some use out of it. So halfway through that second episode, I end up getting a notification on my watch that the area that I'm in is under a tornado watch. So I'm like, hell no. With everything that's been going on in like surrounding states and stuff, like I started to get a little freaked out. What made it worse was that my mom was sending me messages and she's like, "Mijo, you need to be safe. You need to be this. You need to be that. You need to make sure to pray. You need to make sure to do this." And I'm like, "Mom, I am. You're also freaking me out. Like you're making it worse for me right now." So I ended up getting a message from Roxy already, and she's like, "Look, if shit hits the fan, you need to make your way to dispatch because it's in the basement." And she's like, "The building's been there for like 100 years. You'll be safe there." So then I get a hold of um Sabrina Henry. What's going on, Sabrina? So I end up getting a hold of one of my friends who works there at dispatch because I already had been talking with her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there." So she's telling me, maybe you should practice the route in case things do go to hell. And then I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's kind of freaky. Yeah, but you're right. No, I should practice just in case things go to hell. Okay. So it wasn't that far. Like downtown from where I was staying, it wasn't that far at all. It was like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that, with traffic. And I make my way over there, and I'm parked right across the street from dispatch. And when I got there, it was raining a little bit, and I'm just sitting in my car, and my mom says to me, um, "Please be careful out there. Just go into dispatch." But I was also hungry. I was also hungry, so I was like, I don't know. Am I should I go in there? Like everyone seems to be calm, like everything is fine. So I get out of my car after it stops raining a bit and I took a picture of the sky. So I just want to show this really quick because I thought this was pretty cool. So this is what the sky looked like when everything was kind of I can't say going to hell because it really wasn't going to hell. It was it was a little windy, right? And the tornado watch was going on and I mean it seemed okay. It wasn't nuts or anything like that. So I ended up taking this picture and I thought the sky looked really cool. And I sent it to my mom and she's like, "You need to be careful. That doesn't look good." And I was like, "Sorry, mom." I said, "I just thought it looked cool and I thought I should send it to you." So there you go. So I sent that and yeah, like I said, I thought it was pretty awesome. So I just wanted to show that to all of you there. Sabrina says, "No, that's forecasted for tomorrow." Oh shit. Well, sending you thoughts and prayers. Everything will be okay over there. So check this out. So right where I was parked and I took that picture, right in front of me, like okay, facing dispatch, I turned to the left to look up and take the picture, and then in front of me, there's a building there, and it's a little taco joint. So I went in, and I thought, you know what? I'll just order food, and I'll take it with me to dispatch because I was getting a little nervous now, and but I just thought, I'm sure things will be okay. Someone would have contacted me if it wasn't going to be okay. So I end up ordering my food, and I sit down. And there were tons of people that were just coming into the restaurant, and I thought, "You know what? I am going to enjoy my dinner. I'm not gonna rush. I'm not gonna go over to dispatch or anything yet. I'm gonna go ahead and eat and just enjoy it." Because all of the people that keep walking into the restaurant, they know they've lived here long enough, and I can trust that if they're not going anywhere, if they're taking their time and eating their food as well, even though this tornado watch is going on, the sky looks gnarly. Unless they start running, I'm fine. So that's exactly what I did. That's what I decided. I would go off of everyone that was there. Not one person left. I mean, unless they were done with their food, nobody left. More people continued to roll in, so I just took my time, ate my food, and then I went next door to dispatch after that because they were already waiting for me. So shout out to everybody that was in there. I had a lot of fun with all of you just sitting there and just kind of chatting and seeing how your dispatch center runs, what it looks like on the inside. And it was a lot of fun. So thank you so much for the invite and that I got a chance to sit in there with all of you for a bit. So the next day was class and it was at the Clint Bauer community building, which was very cool building, man. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Now we did have some technical issues in the beginning, and so there was like no microphones or anything. I needed to talk loud and project, which is not a problem for me. Plus, there was a spot where I could like walk forward in front of class and come back, and it was just really good. So um, I had a lot of fun. Now there was one point that that I want to mention that was pretty interesting while I was in there. And I tell everybody this that when I train, when I teach, I want to give you an experience because I could easily teach from the screen and you take notes and have stuff in your booklet or whatever and just go through it, and that would be boring as shit. I don't want to bore you. I don't want to bore you. Like, what's the point? I remember being in classes when I was in dispatch in training, and there would sometimes be people that would go up there and spend like the first 30 minutes talking about their merchandise or their shitty books that they've written. And I would be sitting there like, "Ugh." Like, I don't want a sleazy salesman, man. Like, I don't want you up in here. Like, and sometimes some of those trainers or some of those folks that were speaking did not come from 911, and that made it worse. And but now there's a difference, okay? Because I know a lot of people who don't come from 911 and they teach and they train and they are amazing. The difference is those folks, it's all in the way that they present themselves. They are a supporter of 911 and an ally of 911. Those are the folks that I love. Those are the ones that I'm talking about that are good and do well. It's the others that try to teach as though they come from there, but have never been there. Those are the ones that I'm talking about. And I don't think there's really a lot of those left or anything. I'm just giving you examples. And so I like to teach from. Sorry, I had to stop for a moment. I thought somebody was knocking on the door, but I think someone's walking upstairs. I'm on the second floor right now. Um, so I just wanted to make sure that there was nobody there. Juliet says ghost. No, not a ghost. It's somebody. I think it's someone upstairs. So, as I was saying, I want to give everyone that I teach an experience. Otherwise, I mean, really, what's kind of the point? You know, I find that the best speakers that are out there and the ones that I really am drawn to are the ones that give a little piece of themselves because that's how we relate. That's how we talk. And Bonnie says, and an experience it was. Yes, I'm glad. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and that you did get an experience out of it. I did my job. Sabrina says, yes, it was an experience for sure. Yes, awesome. Char says, knock knock, housekeeping. Yeah, yeah, something like that. That's what I was thinking it was at first. Um, so it was a lot of fun to be in there, share my story with all of you, and 'cause that's how it starts out. I share my story, and then we go into imagine listening. And the reason I do it that way is because I want you to feel comfortable with hearing stories, thinking about your own, and then us sharing. Because the whole communications course is basically it's a back to basics on communications. However, what makes it different is that it's through the power of storytelling and everyone coming in, learning from each other, but also learning about themselves and how we can do all of this together. Because I'm a firm believer that this short staffing issue is going to be solved by the front line. Like, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. I know that there are many different factors, a lot of different variables. However, there's a lot of people that I've spoken to where if their environment is healthy in the sense of like a good culture, they will want to stay. All the other stuff comes afterwards. So that's what I'm really trying to push with this course. And it was so much fun, man. There was so much engagement and everything. And there's the few times that that people do group activities and they're talking, and I think that was probably one of my favorites. Not just the Imagine Listening part, because I love that part as well, but the discussions where people are talking with each other and sharing experiences, what it was like for them in the beginning, how they got into dispatching or public safety as a whole, and some of those experiences, because that is how we come together. Also, I'm a firm believer that at some point in time throughout our careers, we forget what it was like in the beginning. That's why a lot of times people leave their young, because they forget, or hurt people, hurt people. And that's that vicious cycle that we need to stop. If we can just understand each other, dude, we can do it all. We can do it all. I mean, a lot of these things that I'm teaching in this class, these are things that you do every single day with your callers. But what if we can use those same skills on each other? So that's what we were doing for 8 hours, man. When we got towards the end, I'm like, "What have we been doing all day?" We've been learning about each other. We've been learning about ourselves. We've been learning about communication, but also I teach people how to be comfortable to share their stories, even with a stranger. It was so good. It was so much fun. And let's see, James says, I am a 10. My son is home for R&R. 2 of 3 soccer games are in the book while he's in town. Hell yeah, dude. That is awesome. He says 20 and out, stay longer to retire earlier. Way to go, West Virginia. Ah, yes, West Virginia did get some stuff out there. That was really good as well. So, excuse me. So throughout that time as well, I'm I'm telling a story. I'm telling all kinds of stories, really. And there was a story that I shared that something happened. Okay, and actually, it was the first time I believe ever in a training or even in a presentation or anything like that that I spoke about what I'm about to tell you right now. So there's a video that I play during the first part of my story, and it's a media spot where it shows my good friend Whitney, who was my co-host at the time, and Angela Cunningham, who at that time was a reporter for WZZM 13 as an ABC affiliate, and she had come to do a story on my creation of Within the Trenches podcast. Now, what I remember being so nervous, and one of my friends put a picture on my laptop as, I guess, courage. The picture was a good friend of ours who had passed away almost a year prior to that moment. And in the picture, he's dressed in uniform, but he has like a Santa hat on as well. And his name was Sergeant Tatro, Scott Tatro. And I don't know why, but at that moment, I felt like I want to talk about my buddy. Again, it was the first time, I'm pretty sure, ever that I've spoken about him while presenting. And what I shared was like the last time I saw him, he was telling me, because during that time, all I had out was like the very first version of what is everything that I do now, which is that one video that my coworkers had shared their stories, and then I was blogging a lot of my calls. And I remember him telling me, this is really good stuff. Like, you need to keep doing this. This is important. And I was like, yeah, I will. He's like, yeah, don't stop. And I said, so you'll be back Saturday, right? And we can have some morning coffee like we usually do. And he goes, yeah, yeah. He was like, well, we'll do that. But it never happened because that the night before, Friday night, or Friday evening rather, he had a medical emergency and he passed away. So I'm telling this story, right? And it was already raining really hard to the point where the rain was hitting so hard and it was so loud, like there was so much rain coming down that everybody in the room was saying, you're gonna have to, maybe you need the microphone because you might have to speak up a little more. And I was like, I'll move closer to everyone and I'll talk louder. And as I'm talking about this, like, thunder rolls hard and lightning crashes. And when the lightning crashed, dude, the light fixture above all of us, like, it looked like lightning went through, but it was electricity, a long spark that came out of it, and all the lights flickered, and everyone's like, oh, and I end up looking up to the ceiling, and I said, Scott, do you not want me talking about this? Yes, Sabrina, it was crazy, and it was definitely perfect timing because as soon as I said that, it rolled again, and I was like, "Oh." But you know what? It also made it that much more, I mean, it was funny, but it was also touching in a way because it was almost like, it was almost like he was talking to me, and maybe like he was telling me to keep going because that was basically the last thing he said, was to make sure to keep doing what I was doing because it was important. And I've been doing it ever since, man. So I'm sharing, this story. The hard part was when I got to dispatch that morning and I was expecting to have coffee with him. I had asked the other supervisor that I was relieving how the night went, and he said, "Are you kidding?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Nobody called you?" And I was like, no, no one called me." And then he told me that our friend had passed. I was like, "Oh my God." And then, of course, later, I don't remember how many days later, but of course, there's the funeral and the end of watch, which is, I can still hear it right now. I can see myself and my coworkers there. That's probably one of the hardest things I've ever listened to. But it was, either way, it was just like Bonnie says here, it was an epic moment. It definitely was an epic moment because just the timing of everything as I was talking and how I was sharing the story and everything crashing, all of it. It was it was like we were having a conversation, but it was a very cool moment. So um I know you were watching and listening, man, and it was a very cool moment. The Shield Within podcast, what is going on? I see you on there as well. Really quick, if you guys have not listened to the Shield Within podcast, you need to make sure to check it out. We did a couple episodes recently, and I'm trying to play catch up, guys. So I'm going to be sharing them soon. I'm just playing catch up. And then I need to get that episode from you guys as well, so I can throw that on Within the Trenches podcast to get you guys even more exposure. But it was a lot of fun. So make sure to check them out. Now, after all of that, continued throughout the day with the rest of what we had going on, but it was just crazy that was sharing those stories, and it happened twice with the lightning and the lights, and the spark was even longer coming out of that light fixture, and it was already like put out there like, look, if we have to call for an engine, like we were already talking what was going to happen if something caught fire, and luckily nothing did. It was just that, but either way, it was really cool. And I want to pull something up here to read, but I'm going to wait to read it at the end. There it is. So I will read it here at the end, and you'll see why as well. Let's see. Sabrina says one of the dispatchers that came with me has already opened up and talking more. Class was huge for her. Yes, yes, that is what I'm talking about right there. That's what this class is all about, man. Thank you for sharing that with me. That is amazing, and yes, huge for her and for a lot of people. That's why I love teaching this class. So thank you for that. I'm glad that it helped her as well. In North Carolina, I had a friend out there who, when she got back home, she ended up reaching out to a friend of hers that she hadn't heard from in a little while to check on them because of the class and because of what they were talking about, and they were talking as well about some of their calls or some of their struggles or anything like that. So that's what this is all about, man. Just opening up, people talking with each other, and just going through all of it to be just, like I said, an experience. So thank you. And thank you for everybody who was there. It was so much fun. See, Bonnie says it was for me as well. I'm sharing more. Yes. Awesome, Bonnie. Yes. Damn. All of you have made my night. I always love doing open mic, but even with that right there, especially that is awesome. So I want to share a few pictures here, because we're coming to the wrap up of this, and basically for tonight, I just kind of wanted to tell you what's been going on for the week, some of the funny shit that I went through, some of the stuff that happened, while I was telling that story, and so let me see here. Where's all of the pictures? All right, so I want to share this first one here. Now, this is one that I shared out on social media already, but I'm going to put it up here on the screen because it also has some feedback. So there were about 50 or 51 people in this class, and also this community building was very, very cool. The projector was tilted a little bit. Apparently, there was a prom, and I don't know, that everything went crazy. So we had to fix that. But either way, it was a lot of fun. As you can see, there's tons of people in there. And this was just one of the things that someone said. And so it just says, I just wanted to thank you for bringing Ricardo into our town. I wasn't sure what the training would be like, especially because I was new. I have a very short attention span, and I was captivated with him the whole time. I got so much from it. He's a really, really good trainer. Thank you for letting me go to that. Thank you, Ryan, for being there and for the kind words. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, I had a lot of fun with every single one of you, and I think one of the things that I enjoyed the most, and I started to say it a little bit before I heard like the noises in the room, but one of the things that I enjoyed the most was when everyone was broken up into their groups and I was just listening to them talk and laugh with each other and really kind of open up together. And I think that's one of the best things about that too, is because you're in a room with people who know exactly what it's like, what you're going through. But sometimes we forget. So that's why you've got everyone coming together to talk and really just kind of explore each other and learn from each other, relate with each other. It seems so easy, right? But it's not. Sometimes, um, the conversations, people don't really want to have those types of conversations, and that's okay. That's okay. But sometimes some of those conversations are needed. You know, maybe there's someone out there who's struggling and they don't really know how to open up. And even if someone asks and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, no, I'm okay," ask them again. And, the person might open up. But also it's when people are ready. And that's something that we talk about in the class as well. So there's a lot that goes into it. And so I had that there. I have a picture here that I wanna share. There were a bunch of pictures, so if there's other pictures that were taken, please send them to me as well. I'm just showing the ones that were sent to me and some of the ones that I've seen. I haven't brought them off of Facebook yet, but I wanna get as many as possible so I can share, on social media too. So let me pull this next one up. This is with the Lyon County crew. So you got Roxy over there, and you've got Selena up front, Cassandra right next to me with the championship belt, which was awesome, and then the entire crew, all of you, were so much fun, man. We took a bunch of pictures there at the end. So again, I just want to show some of these as we're going through the end of this now. We had a little fun with that belt too. So I want to share this one right here. Oh, that is hilarious. The look on Cassandra's face is just perfect. So we had she had the chairs and I was like, "Yes, let's take it." She goes, "We should take a picture with the chair or a ladder or something like that." And she had the chair, so we went for the chair and it was hilarious. It was so much fun. And just again, thank you for taking those pictures with me. Again, that was hella fun. I had a lot of fun with that. I'm glad all of you did too. Now, the last thing I want to show is something that was this is something I didn't know about. This right here is called the Murder Bridge. For real, dude. So after class, I ended up going back to my hotel and I changed. And Roxy met with me. And well, she went and picked me up and she gave me a tour of Emporia, which Emporia's got a lot of cool stuff, man. But this was the first destination that we went to, and this bridge is creepy as hell. Now, here's the thing. Actually, I'll just tell you to look it up. But there was a movie that was made on a true crime that happened a long time ago. It was like in the 80s, maybe. I think it was something like that. The movie came out in the late 80s, early 90s. It has Kathy Bates in it, and it's called Murder Ordained. Now, what happened here is like a preacher fell in love with a secretary. They plotted to take out their spouses. Yeah, and this is the bridge where one of them happened. That was pretty creepy, especially because when we got out of the car, before we walked up to the bridge, when we got out of the car, I heard, "Oh, oh," like someone just like it was weird. And I thought maybe it was a bird or something. So then we go and we're standing on the bridge, and Roxy's telling me about how the area is haunted and that sometimes people hear one of the victims saying, "Come down here and help me." Like it was a female victim, and you can hear her saying this. Or sometimes at night, there are orbs or something like that that you see on the bridge or right in the area of the bridge. So then I told her what I heard, and she's like, "Dude, you never know. That could have been her." And I was like, "All right, I think we should go." But it was creepy, man. So if you're into true crime or anything like that, look up the murder bridge in Emporia, Kansas, or the made for TV movie or whatever it was. It's called Murder Ordained. So there you have it. You've got something to look up now. All in all, it was an excellent experience, man. A completely great experience. I loved being out there with all of you. Thank you, Roxy, and everyone at Lyon County. Also, Kansas Nina, the both of you for bringing me out, for everyone being there for the session, for the class rather, and those who shared stories during Imagine Listening and open mic. Which just wait till you hear the open mic portion. Oh my lord! I might have to do some editing. And like I always say with open mic, it takes one story for all of them to go downhill. And the story that opened it up, yeah, it opened the floodgates. hmm But it was a lot of fun. Again, it was excellent. And I can't wait to go out to other places to teach this course as well. There's a lot of states that are reaching out to me now, um, excuse me, to go out there and do this course. So stay tuned. I'll let you know everywhere that I end up going to. Sabrina says, glad I shared my story, gave my dispatchers um, that I also struggle with stuff. Yes. No, see, and that's what's good. And Sabrina also says open mic was crazy. Yes, it was, but it was crazy fun. Um, I think that during Imagine Listening, I think one of the best parts about you sharing and others that were sharing in there, it continued to give folks inspiration to share as well. And and some of them, it was like, people had been holding those in for a while and they wanted to let it go. And it was great to see that, but also for other folks that were by them, they're rubbing their back or they're giving them hugs and they're like, "It's okay, we're all here." And that's exactly it. We're all here together and we're going through it. So thank you, all of you, and especially for the engagement. Man, there was such engagement throughout the whole day, even after lunch when you're super tired and there were a couple people who were like trying to keep their eyes open, but because they had just eaten, but they were still engaging, even though like people were tired, they were still engaging. There was great engagement. And, again, I had a lot of fun with all of you. So thank you all for everything. It was excellent. And I know I say this and have been saying it a lot lately, but I'm going to continue to say it. And here it is. And it's that. And I noticed somebody snipped a part of it and posted it and tagged me in it. Which, if you're watching right now, because I can't remember exactly who did it, but I will comment on it and share it as well. So, wait, Bonnie says we were night shifters caught day walking. That's right. There were a lot of night shifters there. and some of them working like crazy schedules and stuff just so that they could go to the class the next day, which I really appreciate all of you for that too. I know how that is, and that is not an easy thing to do. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. Um, what you do is important. And I will always say that until everyone believes it and in themselves. Because I know a lot of times, especially with other influence, whether it be in the inside or from the outside, you might not always think what you're doing is important in the sense that a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm just doing my job." Yeah, you're doing your job, but there's a lot to it. So I just hope all of you that are watching right now, whether you were in my class or not, I hope you know how important you are. What you do is important. Your story is important. And it's important to share it when you're ready. That's the key, when you're ready. Because it's not an easy thing. Not everyone just wants to throw something out there. It takes a little bit. And a lot of you might think or feel like, what you do is small, but I mean, it's not. The impact of your work is everywhere. You might not ever see it. One day it might come full circle, but that impact is there. It might feel like the work that you do is just a drop in the water, but when there's a drop in the water, there's all those ripples, like my good friend Gary Hill says and has been saying for years. It's those ripples, it's the impact within those ripples that is the impact of your work. What you do in this profession of 911, your voice can change the world. One voice can do that. One voice can change the world. And even if you feel like your voice can't change the world, just remember that your voice can change the world of your callers. And that is powerful, man. It's the most powerful tool, powerful weapon is our voice. And you can use that every single day. So, see, Juliet says, imagine if we are all drops in the water every day, what an impact we can collectively make. Yes. Yes. I love that. Exactly. That's the power that you hold. So hold your head up high. Not a lot of people can do what you do. You're the most vital piece of public safety. And if you haven't heard it lately, I am proud of you. And thank you for everything that you do. Things wouldn't be what it is without all of you. Everything starts with you. So thank you. Now, the thing that I wanted to read here at the end. When my good friend Scott passed away, it was about a week, maybe even a few days or so before he passed away. He posted something on his Facebook that it was something we had never really seen before. And I say that because he wasn't on social media a lot, but he ended up posting this quote. And if I remember correctly, it was the last thing that he posted on Facebook. And when he passed away, his family had it engraved in his headstone. So I want to read this because I feel like it really wraps everything up. So this is what it says. Life is short. Live it. Love is rare. Grab it. Anger is bad. Dump it. Fear is awful. Face it. Memories are sweet. Cherish it. thank you all for being here tonight with me, and keep doing what you do, man. I love doing this with all of you. I hope that your numbers have gone up. If you had a low number, I hope that it's gone up. Even if it stayed the same, that is awesome, because we were all here together, and this is what open mic is all about. We take about an hour or so out of our lives to come together to just talk, chat, have fun, get things out. And this is open mic. So what are your numbers? You can throw them in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. Where are they at now? I hope they went up a bit. But again, even if it stayed the same, that is completely fine because we were all here together. I'm way above a 10 now. I loved being on here with all of you tonight. Sabrina says, did our Kansas duck make it back with you? Yes. Yes, it did. And I was telling my daughters about it. They immediately wanted to snag it from me. I was like, this one's mine. So yes, it did make it back with me. This live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital, a leader next gen core services, and a big shout out to to all the subscribers for everything, but also all of you who are here watching, listening, supporting. I wouldn't be able to do all of this if it wasn't for you. Seriously. It's because of you, all of you, that I continue to do what I do. You are my why. You're my reason for everything that I do. So thank you. And for your trust in me to share your stories. And as well to teach your folks. It's an honor. I'm humbled. And I don't take it lightly. I feel truly blessed to play a small part in your 911 journey. So thank you for everything. Bonnie says it came up to an 8. Thank you for what you do. Thank you very much. Char says solid 9 now after an hour with all of you. Yes, that is awesome. Yes, that is always good when the numbers go up and everything. Mike over here on Instagram says absolutely 10. We have come so far since I started 40 years ago. There's a lot that is, yeah, this has come such a long way, man. I agree. Yes, definitely. This has been so much fun. And, for those who are watching and listening, if you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the flagship show, you can email me, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on social media. You can also become a subscriber of the podcast. To easily do all of this, just simply go to the link that's there in the bottom left-hand corner. That's links with 2 I's. .co/WTT podcast. That's links again with 2 I's .co/WTT podcast. You'll find everything there. Email, social media, latest episode, where to schedule an episode, the books, pre-order the new one, all of that is on there. And if you're looking for any podcast/dispatch merchandise, scroll all the way to the bottom. There's a button there and it'll take you to my store. There are tons of things that are on there. So make sure to check that out. And this can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as Instagram, sometimes TikTok. And you can listen to the flagship show 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good one, everyone. And I will see you all in the next one.